So we're live?
We're currently live.
Awesome.
Oh my god, we're doing it. We're doing I Can't Comedy.
We are here. We are in the moment.
We're in the moment. We have an audience, let's say. So now it's a live event. I guess we should just go down the line and introduce like the host and like we got a special guest on the show now. That's our first episode.
Yeah.
Got author, comedian, got Clancy. I'm Brian Barganier. We got famous actor Dick Goldscombe / Dave Kanell in the building.
Always a pleasure.
We got comedy extraordinaire Rodney Norman in the fucking house. Hell yeah.
And I don't know. We are at Willimantic Records.
Willimantic Records. Thank God for having us here. Thank you so much for having us.
I even wore my shirt.
We have a live studio audience.
Yeah, that are gonna woo at any time, just to prove that you're here.
Yes.
Now, don't make it. You don't have to make any noise. Well, we bomb. Yeah, so this is an interesting concept show that I kind of brainchilded, and then we all came together and brought it to life. It was like is comedy timeless? Like we were like, let's pick some old records and just really listen to them, because we all been doing comedy for a different amount of years. I think Rodney, you've been doing it the longest.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing comedy?
20 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still have no idea what I'm doing.
Dave, how long have you been doing stand-up? You've been doing stand-up a long fucking time too, right?
Yeah, maybe 7, 8, 9 years.
Holy shit. 7, 8, 9. I'm 10 right now. And Ham, you're like...
3.
3, yeah.
Baby, yeah.
But you're amazing, so it doesn't matter. But it's like all the way down the line. So we have... And how much do you guys know about Gallagher? Because that's who we're going to talk about today. Gallagher is an iconic comedian. Mm-hmm. He definitely made his print in comedy, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, here's my story.
Yeah, you have a Gallagher story?
Well, my family, we'd never really had cable. We'd always just been, the 3 standard airwaves TV kind of people. Mm-hmm. We finally get cable, and my dad got HBO, and that's when I got to watch Gallagher for the first time. Wow. Was his HBO special. Mm-hmm. And, it was the big couch, everything, mm-hmm. and just loved it. I was
the big couch one?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it was called, but that's the one I remember back from childhood, too, a lot of the time. He's just, like, jumping around on, like, a big couch. Yeah. See, it came out on, like, a roller skate and, like, a spring shoe, mm-hmm. and was, like, changing his hat, like, every 10 seconds.
Yep.
I mean, he's best known for the Sludge-O-Matic. I think we all know that bit, right? Where he just smashes a watermelon and gets everyone all messy.
He was the prop comic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was the prop comic before Carrot Top kind of took over the mantle. So
yeah, I'm excited to hear an audio-only version of prop comedy, though.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what was so interesting about this album. Was like he pressed it to vinyl. Like that's what's so interesting. So like that's a real dedication to it, because there's no visual. It's a totally different medium, and it's going to be really interesting to see.
It's also at the Pasadena Ice House, where like Joe Rogan just does like live podcasts like all the time. So it's like this. I guess this venue's been like around forever.
I love how those are the two
Have you been
examples.
there?
Gallagher,
Yes.
Joe Rogan.
Oh, I've never been there.
Yeah, parking is horrible. You have to
That's my
walk
biggest pet
away
peeve.
in a garage and hope your car's not damaged, or you get a ticket by the time you get back. So it's fun. It's a great place.
It's not the Comedy Store owner?
No, I don't believe so.
Sure.
They mine. I don't know.
Who knows? I own it. Did you know that? All right. I don't know how to start it. Should we just dive into some Gallagher?
Let's just do it. Let's just do it. I'm going to just
let the audience cheer you in. It's already set. Just press.
It was already set?
Turn the knob to play.
Okay.
Yeah, I had it paused.
Just badass record player we got at Willimantic Records.
It's my favorite. Folds into a suitcase. It's the coolest thing.
How many people would you say fit in the Ice House?
They could probably get about 350.
Okay, so this is a pretty decent room.
Yeah, it's
round robin affair. I'll come around to each of your tables and entertain you individually. We'll just start in the middle and kind of move out. Start with you. No, everyone starts.
I'm going to stop it already.
Okay.
He started the album with specific crowd work, and it's clearly you have to be there to know what's happening.
Yeah. I'm assuming by the whoos that it's an attractive female.
And when you said that it only sat about 350, like, and I say only because when we just turned on the what was on the internet today that we were watching his video, it was just like a humongous venue. So he started out by saying it's going to be a very intimate evening, albeit like every table, but it's like intimate to us is very different than 350 people intimate. You know, like that's very different. So I thought that was funny immediately. The scale at which he's used to performing.
I know, right? Only 300 people here?
It's intimate.
Well, we have a good group here tonight. I don't know, people just seem to like a crowd. Have you noticed that? The bigger the crowd, the more people show up for it. You have a small crowd, nobody shows up.
Sounded like Yogi Berra.
Probably don't know this, I'm an astrologer. If you'll call out your astrological sign, I'll tell you a little bit about yourself one at a time, please. I like to make jokes about ugly people. I figure who's going to come up after the show and complain, you know? Hey, man, I resemble everyone.
Oh, that's where that started.
Can you guys hear this good?
People holding hands in love, you know, I figure it gets them both out of circulation.
Just
I don't know if it's a good idea to have them together, though. They might be home now, crumping up a whole new generation of little bitty ugly people. People sit around and contemplate their navel these days. I contemplate my nose and note its imperfections. Do you think it's a good idea to put a wet, drainy thing like that upside down over your mouth? It's unsafe, it's unsanitary. If the health department saw it, you'd have 10 days to fix it or move out.
This is
good.
Do you think that's why he grew out that mustache, was to protect his mouth from his disgusting nose? Is that why he has that disgusting mustache? It's just for protection?
That's why I've got mine.
I grew mine to just prove I was an adult. It was all I had. This is still it. I've been growing this mustache for like 7 years.
And still, I'm sure people are going, do you paste that on?
I do it all the time. I'm 30.
You look 14.
Thank you.
It's got kind of a stink, but you couldn't put it around there, and couldn't put it back there. You could switch it with your belly button, that way your face would look like a bowling ball. But then every time you sneezed, your zipper would whistle. Or your dress would fly, but choo! Eskimos would have to drop their pants to kiss. That'd be...
That's the one that went too far.
Yeah.
Someone's already like, oh my god.
Mix and match and move stuff around. Wear something out, you get some new, you know. Send stuff out to get it chromed. Say you're laying in bed on a Saturday morning, your woman says, get your ass out of bed. You go, here, take it, leave me alone. You can ask her for a piece, you might just get it. I was thinking the other day, if your knees bent the other way, what would a chair look like?
I'm still recovering from picturing Gallagher. He's just gonna come at me with some fucking knee thing all of a sudden. Like, I'm like, who fucks Gallagher?
I like that he like kind of skated around it too. Like I like how he kept the joke clean. That was a very like Rodney Norman-esque move. Like to say something dirty without saying something dirty. It was really neat. But also, I'm realizing even though he's a prop comic, he is actually painting really vivid imagery with his words. Like I'm really like picturing what he's talking about with just audio. Like, you know, there's no prop for that, or if there was, it's not even needed. I mean, I'm laughing just the same.
You're providing the props in your own mind.
Look at that. Be the prop, man.
That is the brilliance of Gallagher.
The prop is your imagination, you guys. Yeah, it's kind of like just listening to like your friend that's like too high, just like saying like, man, what ifs, but he wrote down all the best ofs.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it, but I like how he just jumped. And I don't know if it's necessarily a clean joke. It's still about fucking. Like, just because, like, I remember I did a clean show one time, and they were like, all right, so you have to do a clean set, and this guy was, like, on stage, like, so I was watching this pornographic film. It's like, no, you're still talking about watching porn. Like, you didn't make it a clean joke.
Graphic doesn't clean it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's make it old-timey.
Yeah, put some literature in this.
Yeah. I was next to my Schiffer when the pornographic film began. Like,
and that's when I ejaculated.
Well,
I got a Kleenex from the Davenport.
I had a serious conversation with another comedian because he wanted to do he had to do a clean set.
Yeah.
So he actually contacted me and asked me how he could make his material about eating out a girl's butthole and make it clean. And I said, I don't think there's a clean version of that.
Be like, are you wearing a bib in the joke? Is that
I was
you're
going to
gonna
say,
clean it
extend
up?
your pinky. And
I mean, the cleanest way you could say it is tossed or salad,
Right.
but still,
It's
everybody
still-
knows exactly what you're saying.
Right.
you ever lick someone's butt? That sounds worse.
Yeah.
You know who has a funny joke about that? Doesn't Patton Oswalt have like a joke about like doing like clean filth? Like how that's like almost worse. Like they never say like don't say that. There was like, is there like a PG way you could say that instead of like not just saying that? He has a very funny bit about it. I'm not
I'll
gonna do
have
any
to find
justice.
that, 'cause
Yeah, I think it's literally called Patton Oswalt Clean Filth. That's what it is. But
I'll find it.
I want to know who asked you who to eat. I'm not gonna do it now. But how do I make this clean?
I
Like,
think I already know, which is the best.
yeah, it's funny. Like we all speculated. All right, let's see if Gallagher has any butt eating jokes.
You people ain't thinking about this stuff. Well, you ain't smoking what I'm smoking.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Now, I'm not advocating use of any illegal smoking materials by a member of our society that do not wish to do so. Although I think it's a good idea for old people, it makes the time go slow. But add years to retirement. Get your grandma a lid of Columbia and a ton of yarn and get back an Afghan to cover the garage.
Is it timeless?
Some of you don't know what I've been talking about. We have some informative pamphlets for you on the way out. We have everything you ever wanted to know about dope but could never remember the questions long enough to ask. And How to Roll the Joint Without Looking by Jose Feliciano. All available.
Okay, so
Yeah, pause it.
do you guys know who Jose Feliciano?
No, I didn't get it.
They all groaned.
Blind singer, right?
Blind musician.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So
So that was like an edgy joke?
that's that was funny.
Blind man goes in the drugstore.
Okay.
Starts knocking stuff off the shelves with his cane. Man comes over, says, "Can I help you, sir?" He says, "No, I'm just looking."
That's just insensitive to stores.
Yes.
Or no.
Oh, and you might recognize that joke. You might think, "Oh, that's a street joke." No, that's his joke that became a street joke.
Right.
I've always wondered that, like, especially when you were like, I don't know, like an old road hack, like when they do a joke where you're like, is that a street joke, or have you just been doing comedy so long? Like, I don't want to put him in like old road hack. But you know that guy like that has like a joke, or like is he the guy that invented this joke, like, or has he been doing it for like 55 years, or is it like a street joke, like you said, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I fucked it up.
No, there's actually.
I'm thinking of a specific comedian.
Well,
I don't want to say.
Joe Lindley had this joke that he did. He was the guy who wrote it. I know he's the guy who wrote it. Was that he had a gay friend who's a midget who just recently came out of the cupboard.
I've heard that 1,000 times.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's the original guy, and he
Really?
still does the joke, and he does it, and I think he even does the thing about how everybody's he's the guy that everybody stole from.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
So that's always it's a weird thing as a comedian that when one of your jokes becomes a standard
Yeah.
that everybody else uses, it's like it's sort of a compliment, but at the same time it's really annoying because you would just have
Yeah.
to stop doing the joke.
Yeah. Have you ever had a joke stolen from you?
Yes,
It sucks.
many times.
Yeah, I've had it from people I don't know, and then I've had even a friend say, "Oh, I did that joke of yours because I haven't seen you do it in like 2 years, and it's a funny joke." So I was like, "Why not?" And I was like, "Damn, that kind of." I was like, "Well, I'm gonna start peppering it back in." And it's like a joke about Nick Nolte I don't even care about.
Oh, that's funny. No, I had done I opened for Big Bad Voodoo Daddy one time.
Is that a wrestler?
It's a ska band.
Oh.
And it was an outdoor theater. It was like 6,000, 7,000 people.
That's dope.
And I killed. Of course, I'm very talented. People love me. And like about 6 months later, a friend of mine comes up and says, "Hey, I gotta let you know something. I stole your act." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I was doing a private gig, and the guy I had to fill in for somebody else, right? And so." He was kind of a last-minute replacement. The guy who they said was, they told the guy, "Oh, so-and-so can't make it, so we got this other guy." So they gave him a picture, and we looked kind of familiar to where it kind of looked similar. He thought that my friend was me. So he told everybody, "I saw this guy open for Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. This guy's amazing. You're going to love him. This is going to be the best. And so when my friend shows up, he goes, I saw you open for Big Bad Voodoo, and I'm so excited because I told everybody about you, and this is going to be so awesome. And this is going to be, I'm just so excited that you're the guy. And so my friend realizes, sure, yeah, that was me. Went along with it. Did his act.
Oh
right?
my God.
But he basically got the gig. They paid him extra for filling in at the last minute. And the whole reason he got the gig was because they thought he was me.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that
That's
fun?
crazy. That's wild.
And no, he didn't give me a taste of it. Okay, let's move
That's
on.
hateful.
Wow.
But I'm
People
not,
shouldn't even cut you in.
No, you should be bitter. That's like fucking
happy that
beyond.
my friend- I'm happy I helped my friend.
That's
Dog, you got Mrs. Doubtfire. Like, that's like fucking crazy. All right.
Here we go. Let's move
Look
on.
like that. You think I don't know the value of handicapped people in the society? You're wrong. If it wasn't for handicapped people, I never would find a parking space.
That's funny. That's cool, but that's funny.
You don't do that, do you?
My favorite joke so far.
You don't use that stall in the bathroom. You use the big wide one with the monkey bars, do you? That's a good place to park. Just about the time you sit down, you see some wheels come rolling up. If you're smart, you'll limp out, you know. There you go, guy.
Several people have done versions of that.
Damn.
That's funny.
This is like a monumental set on here on side 1. WON.
yeah.
Now, I have ideas that might...
That's how it's labeled, side 1, side 2.
Yeah, with 2
You
O's.
know them houses out by the airport nobody wants to live in? Why don't we give them to deaf people?
Solid.
Vibrations, though. I don't know. I'm overanalyzing
I
it.
didn't offend any deaf people, but I don't guess they heard that joke. I could save us some money, too. Do the missionaries come by your house about every other day? Well, why don't we give them the mail to deliver?
As a Mormon
Already in the
missionary,
neighborhood.
that was funny.
You're going to ring every damn bell. Just let them say, hello, God loves you and wants you to have your bill.
God loves you and wants you to have your
They don't
bill.
have enough money now for dam inspectors. I say, good, we don't need no dam inspectors. If you got a house downstream from the dam, your ass ought to be up there checking for cracks. Now, these ideas ain't any dumber than the government. You know what the government calls the department in charge of everything outdoors? Department of the Interior. The only word you can't use.
Solid.
Sounds like it ought to be staffed by decorators instead of bureaucrats. Could you see like a decorator in charge of Hoover Dam? This whole wall has to go. Masonry, masonry, masonry. Windows, let in the light. I do that good, don't I?
He's crushing right now. Like, I don't know if I have to stop the momentum, but like this is like solid. Like this is like what we watched of like 2 specials like online just to get like a little like bit of like just in the mode. Like this is way better than
Way
that.
better.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's because it only is audio, but this is like I'm like, am I enjoying Gallagher right now? Like
This is hysterical. There's a lot of really good one-liners, just
Yeah.
like one after
Yeah.
another. You know?
Well, I mean, I think that's typical. I mean, he's a very funny comedian. Mm-hmm. But the thing everybody knows him from is from his gimmick.
yeah.
Gimmick got him noticed and got him booked, but it was the fact that he's actually really funny. It's
Yeah.
the reason people would come back.
right.
I guess that you'd have to.
He
Like,
had
have to
kind of a cult following for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
yeah.
That might be like a little soul crushing though. Like if you're that talented at writing jokes and like firing off jokes, and then somebody sees you goofing around one time with a thing, and then that just becomes your thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like you do one thing one time, like, oh, I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna smash a piece of fruit and see what happens. That's a big moment, I think, as a comic to be like, I'm gonna try that. Like we all agonize over like, ooh, should I try that new joke I wrote? Like, could you imagine just be like, hey, I'm gonna try spraying the audience with a bunch of fruit and see what happens? Like, I just think that's a big step, and if that then overshadows your joke
Yeah,
writing,
it's sort of a double-edged sword. In
Yeah.
one, it's the thing that gets you noticed and
Right.
gets you booked, but at the same time, Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm a lot better than this.
Right, you're
but-
saying all these well-crafted jokes, and they're like, shut up and get the Sludge-O-Matic. Like,
I don't know though,
all right, let me
because
get my beret.
he's already doing it. Even on the cover of the album, he's got the roller skate, the spring shoe. He's already looking goofy as fuck. He's eating a hot dog wrapped in like a banana unpeeled, but it's a hot dog.
Oh,
you
yeah,
have it?
yeah.
Yeah, look at
So
this.
funny.
Like, he's not, like, taking comedy super seriously. He's not
Right.
wearing, like, a Carlin sweater.
But that's what I'm saying, is like, maybe
He's a
he
teapot.
did at one point, and then just got noticed for,
I think
doing
he's
some
just a
strange
really high person, and he's
Yeah.
very silly, and just, like, went down. I don't know, he's very
like a great writer,
imaginative, because, like, I remember, like, and yeah, you do get stuck in, like, that character. I was thinking about, like, while you were saying that, like, Dan Whitney or Larry the Cable Guy, like, becoming, like, your character becoming more famous. That's, like, my biggest fucking fear, like, I would ever get famous, but to create, like, a fucking shitty character, and then that gets, like, all the way famous, and then you're like, I want to be myself, though, sometimes.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to do that now. Like, like, Gallagher's still doing stand-up, like, right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
didn't know that, actually.
Oh, yeah. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
I knew that.
Well, he tagged us in a, I don't know, should we bring up our Gallagher
it
Gallagher
was
story?
so weird. It was a weird encounter.
I've became friends with him on Facebook like years ago because I found he had a Facebook account and I was trying to just get him on like little random things. I would send him messages. He never replied. But then he's so weird on Facebook. He just goes down like huge rants like all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
He's great to be friends with, but he one time wrote a post about every single person he was friends with on Facebook. So when he got to me, he went to my Facebook picture, and it was a picture of me and you chugging beers together. And he was like, look at these two people with like 4 eyes, or like one love. It was like real weird. It was like a weird like little poem. He does a lot of poem stuff.
Uh-huh.
And it was just like this weird quirky thing, and I was just like, what the fuck just happened? Because I didn't know that he was doing that with his Facebook friends. So I just get that Gallagher tagged you in
Shared
something.
your
and I was,
photo.
Yeah, Gallagher shared my photo and tagged me in something, and I was just like,
So weird.
what?
Yeah.
And I was like, we were literally chugging beers probably.
We were, yeah. It was right before we got sober.
Yeah.
Right before.
Oh, man. It was just very weird.
I would use that as a credit.
I've messaged him to even, like, since then, like, but nothing. I might call him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him for this show, maybe. I don't know. I was trying to tag him. I was tagging him in this, but I don't know.
Try to Facebook call him.
He's doing,
Right
like, shows in Iowa. He's, like, trying to buy
Not
real
right
estate.
now, he's not.
We'll see. He might be watching football. But let's get back to some Gallagher stuff in the album.
Well, I'm from Hollywood.
I will call him.
Living in Hollywood's like living in a bowl of granola. What ain't fruits and nuts is flakes.
I don't know, you
I'm going
guys.
to tell a Catholic joke. Are there any Catholic people here tonight? Well, would you mind if I told a little Catholic joke? This raggedy-ass old nun is wandering home from the convent. She has to go through the park. Now, this dude jumps out of the bushes, drags her back in there, and hands his way. Then he says unto her, he saith, saying, what will you tell the Holy Father now? She says, I'm still the truth. I'm saying, I'm walking home from the convent when this man jumped out of the bushes and raped me twice, unless you're tired. Now, that's as dirty as my show gets. Because they say cleanliness is next to godliness. Why do they say that? I looked it up in the dictionary. Goggles is next to godliness. Cleanliness is next to claustrophobia and cleavage. You can look it up. But people are always telling you stuff you don't need to know. People tell you to eat before you go to the grocery store. That way you don't buy so much. Well, that don't work with little...
Did you guys hear that one person going, like, since, like, he said, like, the fucking, I don't know.
You notice how the timeliness of that? I mean, there's so much awareness now and so much more sensitivity to things where he was saying things that you could probably say then, but nobody wants to hear that now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he definitely used, like, some harsh language, but I think it was what he was, like, he's presenting it as a joke, obviously. It's like, well, that's the question of this whole show. Like, is that timeless?
Is it?
I mean, I
That's a good question.
don't know. He just said some, like, goofy shit, but he just said the word rape in it, honestly. It was just fucking
Yeah, shut
not
up,
that
bro.
good of a joke, honestly.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that good. Right when we said he was crushing, he really let me down.
It seems like he just kept powering through, though. He like immediately into a new
got
premise,
better, yeah.
So it's like
Well, I
all those
think
things he kind of peppered in.
One thing you'll notice is that, people seem like rape jokes that all of a sudden now people are now they're offended. No, people were offended by it and didn't care for that stuff back then too.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is nothing new.
Right.
You make fun of minorities or you make fun of people who are less fortunate than you. People didn't appreciate it then either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They weren't, but back then they would go, they would just ignore it. Mm-hmm. But now, because we have social media and you have a forum where you can actually say something, and now it seems like, now everybody's upset. No, people have been upset about this kind of stuff forever.
Right, you just gave them
now they have a way to actually be heard.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, now that we have the social media, which is the comment cards that now people are reading.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I only ripped mine. Do you guys ever been to a comedy show? They have comment cards on the table. Have you ever filled those out? No, because no one fucking does that.
No. Well,
they just went home and that guy sucked.
I had a friend who was telling me, and I know other comics who've done this, that they'll go their first day and they'll go grab as many cards as they can off the tables, right? And take them home that night, and then get different pens and kind of write in different things and say, that first comedian that did 5 minutes was the funniest dude. You ought to bring him back.
That's amazing. I never thought of that. 10 years in the game, I never thought of that. He said,
if you do about 7 to 10 of those,
yeah.
He says always have one that complain about the nachos or something weird. And then comment the other comics, but always put one and say, that dude was really, really funny. You need to have him back. And he would turn those in the next
That's so
day.
awesome.
And he would turn he said, you don't want to do crazy. He says about 7 to 10 is really
7
really
to 10? I was thinking 4.
Oh, but he says one night you do 7, another night you do 4, another night you do 5. But he says, but if you turn those in, because usually nobody turns in anything. And so all of a sudden they get these cards. It's in different pens, different handwriting. They even have his friends and someone else write in them. And he would just leave them on the tables and the waitstaff would pick them up. So it wasn't like he went and handed them in and go, I found these. Yeah. And he would always get rebooked.
Yeah, I mean, and there's some clubs that are super great. I'll say it right now, the Hartford Funny Bone's so obnoxious, but they pass around iPads to you, where you have to do it right then and there. It's it's almost like they want you to say something negative. I straight up stopped getting booked there off of 2 bad comment cards, straight up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I had a happy birthday situation go wrong, but but it was not my fault. It was out of my hands.
Yeah.
I'm not going to blame it on the club, but 2 bad comment cards out of what was basically a riot, that's not that bad. Let's get back to Gallagher, you guys.
Yeah, Gallagher. There we go.
You go there drunk, you buy everything they got. Let me have that 55-gallon drum of rubber right there. I consider drunk as a mind-expanding experience. It allows me to make new connections, I ask new questions I never asked myself or others before I say things like, what makes a Teflon stick to the pan?
We're back.
Solid joke.
Solid.
Why does the cowboy wear 2 spurs? If one side of the horse goes, so does the other.
Other jokes are quirky questions, though. Just funny questions.
If in your mouth but not in your hand, what does it do say under your arm? Do you have to brush your teeth during a fast? And why do they call it a fast when it goes so damn slow? And when yogurt goes bad, how can you tell? Why do they call them buildings when they're already done building them? They ought to call them built. Or crumblings, living that crumbling over there. I don't know how a forest fire can start from a little thing.
Do you guys hear that laugh? He's noticing it. It's been bugging me for a long time. Oh, yeah.
Sounds a little bit like an English ambulance.
What a weird What'd you say?
Then into the distance.
That's it.
Do you ever get the hiccups? That must just knock you on your ass. Are you with her?
I won't admit it.
You're with her? Wonder what she does in the Midlands. I hope she don't laugh like that.
Hold on, I'm gonna pause it for a second because I feel like even saying some shit like that now, you could get like in trouble, like just like even like going down that rabbit
Oh gosh,
hole.
I say stuff like that, but way worse every single night.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What you're
Same.
saying is nothing.
I
I literally look like somebody, and I'm like, yo, what does your fuck face look like? Be honest.
Yeah.
Do it for
That's
me right
true.
now.
I guess that's true.
Sometimes I wanna know.
yeah, I'm not personally offended. I was just thinking about like society, I guess, in this day. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being.
I do want to point out also that he's such a solid comic that he's bouncing around into different styles. I mean,
Yeah.
he does prop comedy. He does crowd work. Now he's just doing a bunch of one-liners.
Yeah, he's kind of machine gunning right now.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I do like that he's doing crowd work in like a a comedy album. Like that's such always like a goddamn so many as someone I do tons of crowd work, like such a variable, like tons of variables all the time. Like just you never know what they're gonna say, and they're probably gonna say something that's just gonna fuck you up. Like it's just gonna be like not funny, not like anything helpful, just like yeah. Like and you're like, all right, thanks for just fucking everything up.
That's why you get a good editor.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know. I don't know how good editing goes back. It doesn't sound edited. It sounds like he just went for it, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, you with her? Like, there's like...
I'd be interested to know if Mitch Hedberg credits Gallagher at all as like an influence, because I'm hearing a lot of like Mitch Hedberg type stuff in here.
Yeah.
For sure. Never mind.
Yeah, I hate to go back to my act. It seems so boring.
Good line.
I just wanted to mention, how can a forest fire start from a little thing like a cigarette or a match? I can't get nothing happening in my hibachi with kerosene and hand grenades. If they discover mother's milk causes cancer, where are they going to put the warning? And I wonder, why does a man have nipples and no tits? Does the plumber put a faucet on the wall, no pipe?
Just Gallagher
Is it
saying
bad
tits.
taste to give a digital watch to a one-armed man? My dad used to ask me stupid questions. He'd say, you want your face slapped? No, but I could use my butt kicked. What do you say? That's why they call it rearing a child. I wonder, did Indians bother with bald cowboys? I mean, why take a scalp? What are they going to do with a beanie?
What?
When one falls out of my head like this one here, I often wonder, like, what held it in yesterday? It needs washing, but I'm not going to wash it. I figure it's going to fall out and take the goddamn dirt with it. It needs cutting, too, but you don't prune a dead tree, do you? I don't even comb it. I figure the tangle's holding half of it in.
Brian.
Big deal, parallel hair. Who needs it, right? They say it's hereditary. They say
If you
it's genes,
develop
but that's wrong.
male
I got
pattern
that
baldness, you're getting a
I'd
beret.
shave it.
Lean into it. Be Gallagher
I need
3.
to get my hat.
Work on my
Yes, you look at
mustache.
this, you say to yourself, well, I bet he don't get much. Well, you're wrong. I don't get any.
Knew it.
I got a question here for this sexually liberated society that we live in. If your woman leaves you for another woman, should you hold the door for both of them?
See, that's...
It is a sexually confusing society. You never know what or who you're talking to. What was the idea of transsexuals? Oh, look at that woman right there. Might be a man's spirit trapped in that body. I applied it to myself. I thought, well, maybe there's a female spirit trapped in my body, and I don't know it because she's a lesbian.
We should pause it right here.
We should definitely pause it for like 5,000 reasons. How do you guys feel about those jokes you were just talking about?
Well, that's like, this is where we really get into like the hot debate part, you know?
I didn't even know. I have not listened to this album ever.
Right,
so,
well,
like,
he's just starting
been, like,
in on something that, like, you know, right now is just, you know, talked about in a very different fashion.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how, you know, how it was talked about, what he says, how far he pushes it, and then to kind of compare and contrast, like, what could happen today if he said, like, something similar.
I mean, yeah, let's compare it to what Chappelle did.
Yeah, absolutely. So he just started, and he just started, like, pointing out, like, he's doing crowd work with it. It's like bold move. Real bold move.
Yeah,
But let's...
like, what about a view?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Just
like,
called someone out.
Like, what if he's, like, dead on, too?
Right.
Like, that, like, 1 in a million. Oh, that blog article. Would have been. All right.
What's your pronoun? Yeah. Can't do that.
Safer on a girl's bike, for instance. Does it seem reasonable to you that the one with the balls gets the one with the bar?
That's funny.
Balls are inconvenient.
You people mostly vegetarians? Yeah. Not me. I like wieners. People will tell you not to eat this stuff. But I'm telling you, you better eat it. Because it contains chemicals. You need to build up your resistance to chemicals.
Is there more hot dogs?
If you live your life, you don't get no chemicals, and then you get some of this by accident, it's going to lay your ass out dead.
Eat some hot dogs to get some
I'm building up
chemicals.
my resistance right now. I read where lecithin could make you smart. Did you read that? You need 30 grams a day to be smart. Then they told you where you could get that lecithin. In eggs. Every egg contains 1.2. Sounds smart, you got to eat 2 dozen damn eggs. You got an exam, you want to be smart, you got to have an omelet the size of a throw rug. Well, they don't figure you're going to figure this stuff out. Most of you people college students?
So it's mostly college student, one vegetarian.
They always have this attitude like they're so smart, you know? They're in school, something ain't together. You don't go to the hospital and find people bragging about their health.
You know what? I think I see what's happening here. I feel like someone did a bringer show. No, I feel like this is like definitely like the fuck am I trying to think of? Like a Cheech and Chong sort of like back in the day sort of show. Like he kind of just like brought out like I don't want to say a bunch of hippies, but I feel like there's just a bunch of hippies in there. Like a bunch of college kids that are just stoned as fuck. Like, this guy's fucking great.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the year it was recorded?
That's a great question. I want to say 80? 1980. That's the year it was released.
Wow.
There's the hot dog. That's the wiener you like. That's the chemicals you guys need.
So that's interesting historical context. That's just before the heyday of the Comedy Store and the guys that rose up from there, like Sam Kinison and Dice Clay.
Yeah, I think this is I would consider Gallagher like a 70s comic, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what year he started it in. Not the 60s, no.
No.
70s, I'd put up I don't know, Gilbert Godfrey. Who else? Robin Williams, is that 70s?
But Robin Williams kind of, I think he started in the
heyday.
70s, but he really came into his own in the 80s.
When did he start stealing jokes? No.
In the 60s. You ever heard the joke? How does Robin Williams write a joke?
What?
No, Steve Miller, not Steve, Steve
Martin?
Martin. Steve Martin was big in the 70s. He was probably the
Right.
Oh, yeah.
guy.
Oh, my God. I saw a fucking comedian doing one of his jokes fucking the other night on some show I was on about teaching, you could just teach your kid how to talk wrong. Like, you know that, like, it's like, it's a very, like, overdone premise, but, like, I think he's the first one I ever heard. Like, I don't remember exactly what he said, Steve Martin. Yeah. But didn't he have a joke where you could teach your kid how to talk wrong?
I believe so.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say you did it. Yeah. But he was a bizarre dude too, Steve Martin. Like, he had like the fucking like arrow through his head, and he did like songs. Yeah. I think the 70s that was just like everyone was just doing like crazy shit. Like
shticky.
Like once Lenny Bruce was like, you can say whatever you want, and then like, you know, fucking God, now I have to like test my comedy knowledge. Who else is it? Carlin,
Pryor.
Yeah. Mort Saul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rich Little was
maybe
huge during that time.
Joan Rivers. Don Rickles.
Phil Stiller.
There was only like 5 comedians back then. I missed that. That was like just going over the top goofy. That was like, they're like, I don't want to say groundbreaking, but that was like, no one's done it yet. So like everyone was just taking their own like goofy little, like way to go. Gallagher with Smashing Fruit, Steve Martin just being like a silly pants, and everyone, I don't know. No? Maybe? Because I think that's the first era everyone did shit like that.
I think it's as comedians, you're always you're really trying, especially then, you were trying to find a way that really got you noticed, because you had so few venues of actually getting noticed.
Yeah.
You had to do something to basically get on the Tonight Show, because that's where you made your career.
Yeah, it weren't really comedy clubs. It was just lounges and hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of starting to come in.
Yeah.
Right. This is kind of right at the beginning of the comedy club.
Yeah, comedy clubs didn't even exist yet. Though.
Right. Yeah, I mean there were few and far between, and this was when they really started picking up. But to really get noticed as a comedian, you had to get on the Tonight Show.
Yeah,
and to get on the Tonight Show, you had to be something really different than what everybody else was doing. Now, it's hard. I mean, that's the thing, is there's so many people doing comedy, but there's so many people doing comedy just like everybody else is doing it.
Mm-hmm. It's just rough now. Like, even with Netflix doing like these 15-minute specials, it's like they're not even like cool anymore. You know, they've like taken all the allure out of it, and it's just not as like as special as it was, and like people I don't think put as much work into it, or like, and with how easy it is to just get the content, it's totally different too. Like, you have like then you had to have something to get yourself like on the Tonight Show. Like, you had to have something like groundbreaking or something so unique. But now it's like you have to do it like in another sense to like just to even stand out from the oversaturation of it all.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like almost the same predicament.
Mm-hmm.
With like
it's kind of it's become its own monster, because yes, there's more ways to get noticed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, your competition for those spots is just as fierce as it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So
comedy's wild, y'all.
It's still a crapshoot.
Yeah, I don't know if it's better then or now.
There's still a lot of people who are extremely funny that nobody knows who they are, and then there's people who aren't funny at all who everybody knows who they are. So,
and everything in between.
Yes.
Yeah. Everything. Even like we were just talking about this the other day, but it's so funny. Like we were at Treehouse recently, and they were doing a showcase, and this guy was doing his audition spot, like his first time doing comedy ever, in a packed Randall's, and he's wearing a diaper and 3 bras, and he's like, "This is gonna be my big break."
Yeah. This is a hostile bar show
tell you guys,
too, by the way. It's a fun crowd.
However he planned it to go, whatever the plan was, whatever we saw could not have been the plan. I can't imagine it would have been. It was crazy.
Your first time's always the worst, because it's the worst you're going to be on stage, but it's also the most prepared you're ever going to be. It's like the only time you ever like do it in the mirror like 50,000 times. You're like, going over. And then if they say that, I'll say that. Like, you never try that hard again. But
you
it's
got
like
your hairbrush.
Yeah, you're just like that guy like loaded with like 50 guns, but all those guns are just full of dog shit. Like, it's just nothing good's going to come from it.
I remember my first time on there, I thought, this is going to be horrible, and it's going to be embarrassing, and it's going to be a complete, total disaster. And I haven't stopped telling myself that ever since.
Yeah. I go into every show thinking it's going to be like that, and then if it's not and it's good, I'm like, well, I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah.
And then I'm the optimist of the two of us because we do everything together. So he's always like, "This is going to be awful." I'm like, "It's going to be so great. Stop." And then it's usually just somewhere in between. But
yin to the yang.
Very much more so on your side of that middle ground is usually.
I will say this: I'm coming around to Gallagher.
This has been good.
Not so bad so far.
He hasn't really been offensive.
No.
Even by, I mean, you could still do these jokes now, and I don't think you're going to get a write-up.
Yeah.
I don't think it helps pausing it. It kills, but also.
But this has been fun.
This has been amazing.
Yeah.
But he's really been like just machine gunning them out. I think it's only a 20-minute side too, so it's like.
Do you ever exhale?
Oh, he's still talking about the Lincoln
Forgot about that.
I went to school. I went to college for 6.5 years. It was a real long war.
That one still works.
I have a degree in English literature. What are you going to do with that? If you don't teach, what are you going to do? Open up a poem repair? What was your major? What is it? Math and sociology. Counting people.
That was funny on the fly, too.
We can get you a job here at the door.
There we go.
We got a lot of girls, all in a kind of a group. Are you all college girls? Well, are you good girls? Are you? Well, that's why you don't have dates. What? What's the matter, man? Something happened today? Your mother make you wear that shirt? Did your mother used to lay your clothes out on the end?
We heard this on the other special.
Person?
Yeah. The fly
Put
person.
the shirt and then the pants bent over the edge and went down. Then put the shoes next to the feet and put the socks in the shoes. I used to put my underwear in my pocket. I left it there. I figured it was a spare. Come in handy a couple times, too. There's one article of clothing, though, I can't discuss too much because it doesn't concern me, pantyhose. I consider pantyhose a sexual deterrent. Why else do they reinforce the crotch? If the knee gets all the wear, ought to be a big double knee on it. I used to wear my socks over my shoes so when my laces came untied I didn't trip over them. But I've always been ahead of my time. I knew school was stupid when I was a little kid. I used to play hooky, and then when they catch me, you know what they do? They kick me out. And that stupid punishment, you know? He won't come, we won't let him, you know?
That's how I felt when I got suspended.
But I like church. Church was a weekly reminder there was something worse than school. I'm kind of into knowledge more than I am into sex these days. Kind of an infomaniac.
They're like, come on. It's not
You people
good.
sex? I'm beyond it. I'm over the hump.
I love a good dad joke. I'm not even mad.
This has been 20 minutes of dad jokes.
A lot of coughing.
A lot of coughing. How is that not the name of the album?
Well, you ought to. You already got a cough. I think you do. I'm gonna light up now. It'll make the last part of the show longer.
It's lighting a cigarette.
I'm only doing this because of the law. If you don't use it on stage, you can't write it off your income tax.
Yeah.
Cigarette,
I'm
maybe.
paying $50 a lick for shit not writing it off. I put it down under transportation.
Wait, is it a cigarette?
I think it's weed.
Is it $50 a lick?
Yeah.
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 Oh,
Alright.
shit.
Oh,
So Gallagher is doing drugs on stage, you guys. Is it timeless? Well, weed's like legal in like fucking 8 states now,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
it was not legal then,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I thought I was
but it
cool.
was California, so
Yeah.
I smoked weed on stage when it was still like illegal, and I thought I was pretty badass. So I mean, it's got to be pretty cool. And
Some shows are geared towards that specifically. Like,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
get booked on April 20th. Hello.
yeah, I mean now it's like, I mean, Jesus Christ, like Doug Benson, like he's like
Yeah.
can't do a show where he's not like smoking like fucking 50 bong rips and shit. Like, oh, I just bring 10 comedians on, and then we get high, and then we can't talk for 10 hours.
I mean, to be fair, like, you and I don't drink, but it's like you always see comics with a drink on stage. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
there's people who, like, have their vice, and it's, you know, it's something that calms them and, you know, keeps them in the moment and not in their own head. And, you know, so if it's legal, you're allowed to do
here
it.
we go. Over of the album.
I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was trying to listen to you and just turn it over. But yeah,
No, I'm intentionally sounding like the world's biggest narc right now, but I'm just saying, like, if it's something that's like above board to do, it's one thing, but back then to do it, like, that was bold. I think it was a bold thing to do, and I respect it. I think it's pretty cool.
I
didn't see it coming.
I didn't
I'll
think
say that.
Gallagher was so cool to like
Right,
light
like
a
it's-
joint on stage. Like
think
Chappelle
about-
didn't even do that. He was smoking like a Marlboro.
Oh, I have friends who have they consider it one of the highlights of their comedy career is that they smoked a bowl with Gallagher behind the comedy club.
That's so
What?
A number of comics have done it. Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
I would love to.
I mean, that's iconic, you know, if nothing else, but that's
I mean, him and Tommy Chong are the two that
No, I mean obviously.
we had Tommy Chong at the club one time, and my brother would come along because he's as big as I am, and he would be our security when we needed to have security. His job was to stand next to Tommy Chong and collect all of the weed that people gave him. Because he would never smoke it.
Yeah.
Because he said he made that mistake once,
Yeah,
and it was laced.
I've heard people that done that.
wow.
So he gave it all to my brother, and then my brother, I don't know what he did with it.
Disposed of it
All I
probably.
know is
Flushed
he
it
did-
down the
I'll just say
toilet.
this: he did not ask me for money for quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that when I saw Wu-Tang. They were like, people were just throwing blunts at them. Like, I was like, give me like 4 of those and I'll leave. Like, I'll be that worth the ticket price. Like, just get like a handful. Like, just throwing them. Like, why? I get that too though, because like I always would like to see bands and be like, I wonder if they would want to smoke a joint after. Like, of course they would. They always do. Like, I was like, why would I ever think they wouldn't want
Why
to?
would they not?
Yeah, especially a comedian. Like, there's like any fucking fan interaction. Like, do you want to smoke a joint? I don't know. Not lace shit though. No lace shit. $50 a lid.
You people watch a lot of TV? Watch sports on TV for exercise? My idea of roughing it is like black and white TV, you know? I really feel tired after a good game. Do you? You people into sports much? Skiers? I don't like skiers. Don't you think skiing's kind of dumb? You get up on top of a slippery mountain with sleds on your feet and you go down. Big deal. Try not to. Go up. That'd be a sport. Look at somebody's go up that mountain, you know? People into
I think
bowling.
Steve's pretty cool. I don't know.
He's making a fun point, though.
The object of the game is to do the same thing over and over and over. Won't that be fun? Bowling is an excuse to get drunk. And drunk is an excuse for your bowling. Any you people into tennis? Another dumb one. Object of the game. Hit the ball where your partner ain't, so they have to stop and walk after the ball. While they're walking after the ball, you stand there. You do this for exercise.
Extra violently.
They ought to put the net around the court. Get in. All you need is streamers or a grass skirt hanging from the net in the middle there. Just, you know the ball goes under it. You don't need to walk up and get the damn thing. Train your intellect. It's you. And you go, there's the ball. I'll hit it with my head. Football? Well, I'll tell you, I wish that the Russians knew about our professional football players. See, every time we compete against them, we lose something because we don't have our professional athletes competing. We got a bunch of college kids competing against their big guns, you know? They think they're tough shit. They ain't nothing. These Russians, they get their confidence up playing against them, you know? In fact, I don't like it when they hear about the Army losing to, like, William and Mary. You ever see that? Why can't our service academies do better in sports? I mean, how in the hell good are they going to do in war if they can't win football or something? Against William and Mary? Sounds like a dull couple from New England. You know?
What the fuck, Gallagher?
This is where you ski in the snow and then stop and shoot, and then you ski and then you shoot. We lose that all the time. That's our weakness. If they attack us in the wintertime, we're going to lose Squaw Valley, Lake Placid.
What's going on? I just love how he started smoking weed and immediately started talking about the Russians. Like, he immediately was like, alright, it's all bullshit, like, we need to get the troops. Like, he just immediately went down a conspiracy theory rabbit hole. And jokes, though. So, we're back live.
Now,
we're doing this.
They're over there training right now for the Olympics in Los Angeles, and they're trying to recreate the same atmospheric conditions they're going to have over here. They're having their people run through forest fires sucking on a muffler. You see on the news, how in the hell can they call it air quality? Those two words do not go together. It's like hamburger steak and military intelligence. You know?
Hamburger steak?
Or uncontested divorce. Somebody's pissed. You know, they say that the cities are ruining the environment. This isn't true. It's the farmers. By planting crops, they leach the nutrients from the soil. They rotate the crops, they rotate the nutrients, they leach from the soil. Whereas the city puts down parking lots, the asphalt, seals in the nutrients.
I was just going to say, I almost feel like he's holding the mic further away from his face now.
You know what white sugar does to you?
It's really high now.
Causes you to be hypertensive.
He's sensitive to volume so high.
Same thing. Why is it we let cops go to donut stands? That's why they're all so white. They go, I look at the corner and I see trash in the trash cans piled up. No municipal employee to pick it up. But we got people in little jogging outfits running around the block for the fun of it. Why? You got that much energy? Go get a job. You know, pick up litter, trail a criminal, go down the cop, go, who do you want me to call? Instead, they go down to the gym, they pay money to lift chrome. Make the trash cans out of chrome, get the shit picked up. I'm down on ignorance and stupidity every place I see it. Let me tell you something about driving, because I know there's people in here that do this. A yellow light does not mean put it to the floor.
Bullshit.
Yellow light means you lose
That's specifically how I got hit by a car when I was a kid, and I still think you should gun it at a yellow light.
A few people running the yellow light and decided, hey, I can do that too. So now everybody ran the yellow light. So the people that used to run the yellow light to be different now run a little bit into the red. And you do it too, because you know you can beat that other guy to the middle of the intersection because you got a running start. Right? You ever decide to run the yellow light and the guy in front of you chickens out? That'll put a spot on the front seat. Well, listen who this screws up. This screws up me. If I come up to that intersection to turn left, I get in the left-hand lane. The light turns green. I sit there during that whole green. Right? I'm willing to pay my price, take a little time. After all, I am turning left. But when that yellow comes up, whose is it? It's mine. Paid for it with my goddamn green. But no, here comes everyone so busy. Use up all of the yellow, a little bit of the red. Here come the traffic. Whose ass is in the middle of the intersection? I got to drive real safe because I don't have any insurance. They don't give it to entertainers. My dad had this problem when I was a kid, you know. He owned a roller skating rink. We couldn't get insurance there, so he just put up a sign, you know, not responsible for accidents, skate at own risk. So I put a sign up on my car. Unemployed entertainer. Fuck with me, I dare you.
I noticed a few things. The roller skating rink thing, so that's why he's got the roller skate. His dad. He also said fuck for the first time. That's the first fuck on the album. That's like, I don't even know, like, pretty well into it. Like, I'd say like
30, 40 minutes.
40 minutes into the album. Mm-hmm. A good one fuck. I've sworn so much just talking about it.
You say more fucks per sentence.
I fucking know, yo.
One other thing, donut stand. Did that precede donut shops?
I don't know what a donut stand either. I just was like, I don't know. There was a good chunk where I just wasn't digging it until
donut shops on the West Coast were, back then, they were pretty small. Like a Winchell's Donuts was probably the biggest thing back then. Mm-hmm. They were probably just a little bit larger than a Photomat store.
Oh,
now
really?
A Photomat store. Yeah, you know, the little tiny thing in the middle. Donut places back then were really
like a toll booth. Well, you just
because you didn't stop and sit there. You stopped, you picked them up, and you left.
Yeah.
So they really weren't sit down like Dunkin' Donuts are now. So
yeah. Our Dunkin' Donuts in our town doesn't even have a bathroom for the public. Don't even get us started. They just put an employees only sign over their bathroom.
And then like a big cutout of a culotta in front of the door. It's super illegal. It's a bathroom. Yeah. You know it's a bathroom.
It's like, I need to have diarrhea now and I'm not doing it at my house. So open up.
Open up.
What am I paying you for? Other than to get diarrhea.
But I'm still responsible for all damage to another car. So I just hang my old tires around my car like a tugboat. I don't care. A real sense of freedom knowing you got a big rubber bumper all around your car. I don't know why they don't build a car like that, like a Dodgem car, so you can have some fun on the road.
I like that.
You know what I mean? City people like contact. They like to jostle around. The same thing when you get out on the road. You like to bang around a little bit, you know? Somebody starts coming in your lane. Pow! You're at a red light, old lady in front of you. The light turns green,
Boston.
You don't go. I got gas in first gear for 2 cars. You can't give an old lady whiplash because her head don't go above the seat.
That's horrible, but it's funny.
I don't mind hurrying now, but I'm against ignorance and stupidity on the highway. Stupid drivers. The ones going down the freeway with the seatbelt hanging out the door making sparks.
That was common.
Yeah?
Well, because it was a manual, like, lap
Yeah, because
belt.
it didn't have the thing. It was just the
Where the
one.
hell did you
Yeah.
turn?
Yes, we didn't wear it
Like
just
a
flat
sign to the
belt.
whole world. One
My
way.
first car had an automatic seatbelt. Remember when those got outlawed? Yeah.
Here would already come.
I would just unbuckle this part and just keep that part unbuckled too, so just that thing would just go and then get in an accident.
If I had my way in this world, every driver would be issued a little rubber stick and dart gun like you had when you were a kid. When somebody does something stupid, you hang out the window, you shoot him in the trunk. It would stick there with a little sign that said stupid on it. Then when the highway patrol comes by and sees the car with about a dozen of these on the back end, pulls them over, gives them a ticket for being an asshole. Which brings up the topic of the Arabs.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Is comedy timeless?
You know, they're real lucky we can't drive over there. Or there'd be some independent truckers kicking some ass in Kuwait tonight. Let me tell you something about them old peckers. They're real lucky I ain't in charge of this country's science and technology, or I'd figure out a way of boring through the earth and sucking it out from under them. It ain't their oil. They're just closer to it. I guess we ought to be glad they're still taking dollars for it and don't want something of value. You know what we're about to spend a lot of money on, gang? We're about to spend $30 billion on the MX missile system. You know about this?
First I'm hearing about it.
We build little train cars for missiles, and we run them up to a hole and stick them in the hole, and then when the Russians know they're in the hole, we take them out of the hole and put them in another hole. Sounds like something I'd figure out, don't it?
Yeah, the MX missile system was just
Stockpiling nuclear weapons?
well, we would put them on rails and just move them all over Europe, so they never knew where exactly they were.
We did that?
Yeah, that was the idea, was because the Russians would know specifically where our weapon silos were. Mm-hmm. So we came up with this idea that let's just constantly moving them so they don't know where they're at.
Yeah.
And then they have to countermeasure. They have to figure out where we're putting them, so they have to watch us. So that draws some of their resources. Because the idea that we came up with in the 70s, it's part of the anyway. Was the idea was to beat the Russians in the Cold War was to get them to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because eventually they would run out of money, and we knew that.
Operation Star Wars, right?
Yeah, so the idea, the Star Wars was that we were going to have a technology that was so advanced that they would have to throw so much money at it that it would bankrupt them and they would fall.
Which happened.
And it worked.
Mm-hmm.
But
We kind of did that to
missile
ourselves,
system,
too, in the process, but yeah, it's fine.
The MX missile system, that's what it was
Yeah.
we just keep moving them around.
Yeah, we are fucking insane as a country. We fucking put nukes on a railroad. It's like basically having like a knife and just swinging it in front of people's face, like
Yeah,
la
but
la 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 la, like just
Yeah,
walking
but
around
it's
a
in
party.
Europe,
Like,
so who cares?
yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
and then the OPEC, you understood that. This
Yeah.
was coming at the kind of the end of the gas wars, which was OPEC was just, they realized that, hey, we can make more money if we produce less oil.
yeah.
So they just started doing that.
Right.
And so we had, do you remember the gas rationing?
Yeah.
You guys remember the gas rationing?
Uneven days for
Yeah.
gas.
Yeah, you would have your license plate number, you would have odd days. If it was an odd day, then if the last number in your license plate was an odd number, you could buy gas. Otherwise, you had to wait till an even day to go buy gas. And there were stations
When was
that would run
this?
out. This was during the 70s.
Holy fuck. That's
Yeah.
insane. Did you have like a fake license plate just in case? Like, what if you needed
There
gas?
were people who got arrested because they would save an old license plate and they would put it on so they could go buy gas.
Jesus.
That was a thing.
I mean, when I was like a teenager too, or like 18, 19, that was like when gasoline got up to like $5 a gallon too. So it's like, I don't even know. I can't even imagine like not being able to get gas though. I thought it was bad when it was that.
But that also doesn't actually stop consumption by like just making someone wait another day. Like that's silly. Like it's a
Well,
silly
yeah, because
idea.
it kind of created a worse situation because
Right,
then
restock
everybody
up.
would fill up every time.
Exactly,
So,
and
yeah.
it's every
Nice.
single day because it's not like it's like everyone's odds or everyone's evens. That's that's dumb. And then I remember like the day that gas went over $1 for the first time, and when I was just a kid, my mom stopped and took out a disposable camera and took a picture of the sign at Cumberland Farms.
Oh yeah.
Because
yeah.
$1, and she was like, I've never in my life paid $1 for a gallon of gasoline. She was like blown away by that. And then you're right, like when we first became
when I was a delivery driver, it was $5 a
Yeah,
gallon.
it hit $5 a gallon. Crazy.
Insanity.
Yeah.
And then when it went back down, that's when I started touring a lot too for comedy, because I remember I took a picture of, I think it was like in Alabama, and this was like when it was going down like every so much, like every year, but then it was like one something, and I was like, no way, like, can you believe it? Like, it's almost $2.
Like, it was like $1.40.
Yeah, I was like, no, this is like this gas station's been abandoned for years, clearly. Like, look at this outdated sign.
Yeah.
Nope, open. And you're like, what?
No, I remember the first when I started driving, filling up our family Suburban for less than $20.
Wow.
That was.
I can't even fill my Volkswagen Beetle for less than $40.
Yeah.
That filled up my Nissan Sentra with the automatic seatbelts. That $20 would fill up that piece of shit.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Like any car
It
you
was
had.
so
at that
bad.
point.
Yeah.
First cars.
I miss that though. I miss that shit. All right, I can't believe Gallagher brought up all this shit.
Yeah.
Well, no, he was. I mean, he was. I mean, if you look, he was hitting everything. He was in the political stuff. He was.
Yeah.
He did sports.
He was everywhere. He was hitting it all.
What I'm noticing with side 1 and 2, so it's obviously like leading up to him smoking a joint, and then the joint is side 2. Clearly, it's like it seems like he machine gunned like all his one-liners, but like his A material, and then side 2 is obviously the B material. But it's definitely more the longer bits that like they're not getting punch. It's like thought, big punch. Like
It'll be interesting to see how he ends, though. You know, because like if you think about it, we've been pausing it, so that's like dragging it out. But really, this is like a whole album, so you do want those peaks and valleys. You know, and he was running them hot for so long that like you kind of have to chill him out a little bit, and then like let's see if he ends hotter than he began, which will be interesting because he started off real hot.
In crescendo.
Yes.
That's what we said.
Yeah. So this is the decrescendo. Sports was the decrescendo.
Yeah.
Tennis.
Are you sure it wasn't this hot air?
Why are you doing this when most Americans don't have the cash or the gas to get out of town on the weekend, have a vacation of their own? We got money for a little trip for a missile? We ought to combine these two needs and produce ICBMWs. Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Winnebagos. See? He just gives these out to about 1 million Americans. They head out for the weekend, they just don't tell no Russians. And the Soviets will be shaking in their boots figuring there's 1 million Americans out for the weekend with a six-pack and a Polaris. Hey, what's so scary about driving one of these? If you got a Pinto, you're used to driving a bomb. Is it the new math? Why did two $50 tires cost $150?
We heard this one earlier. It's a good joke.
Because all the extras. You say, let me have them two $50 tires. He says, you want them on the car? No, I'll just eat them here, man.
It was better on the second
What
time.
would you rather have, your car or a
You like
flying
hadn't worked it out
You
yet.
finish it. You never know.
Well, why don't we tell the Japs to build them for us?
Yeah, we don't use
We're the
that
market, they're
word
the workers.
anymore.
Yeah.
Supply
Maybe
and
he
demand.
was
We demanded they
talking about
supply.
jalapenos
When
and he
all
said
we
it
wanted
weird.
was firecrackers and little paper umbrellas, we got them, didn't we? Well, tell them we want flying saucers. Get them to work on it. They love to be busy. They can make anything but a suit where the pants come down to the shoes. I was thinking, if the flying saucers land and little green people get out, what if they're in the nude and we don't know what not to look at?
Took them this long to grab
Or
alien
what if
dicks?
Mexicans get out? That'd be neat, wouldn't it? Aliens.
We've definitely made a
I can't
habit of calling
imagine it,
Mexican
though.
people
There's no
aliens
place
the
on a
last
flying
few
saucer to
years,
hang a
so
bingo
this
ball.
unfortunately holds up.
Yeah, that shit's very timeless.
Legals.
I don't have a hang-up about about Mexicans. Listen, what are you talking about hang up? Don't I live in the second most populous Mexican city in the world? Well, I can't ignore them.
He's got a
I would
point.
tell you I lived in a Mexican neighborhood if it weren't for the blacks. I'm for the minorities, especially in sports. I'm for the white guy.
Before we hear this amazing bit, that is going to honestly probably make the show. Oh my god. What the fuck, dude? He's just like, that joint got him, huh? He's like, here's, like when you're too hot on a roll, it's like, here's another one. You're like, don't do that, man. I don't know. All right.
Well, I mean, because the question is, I mean, can you? I think what he's saying, look, I'm not belittling them. I'm just observing.
Right. I can't avoid them.
How they are.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when that's the question I think that we haven't read going on right now is when does it go from being belittling and mocking them to just having fun with their peculiarities?
Right.
I mean, is it because we're getting to the point now where just observe. I mean, just saying the word Mexican, some people get offended.
Yeah.
It was a comedy club I was managing. The wait staff was predominantly Mexicans. One of the guys, his mother was sick, and he went back to Mexico to go be with her. He's taking a couple weeks off. I mean, oh, fine, right? One of the wait staff asked, where's Jose? And I said, oh, our Mexican friend had to go back to Mexico to help his mother. She goes, oh, you can't say that. I'm like, when did observing that somebody's from Mexico is literally a Mexican, and when did that become offensive?
Yeah.
Right. That's actually the wrong thinking.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And this, I think this is kind of what he's saying. He's going, he didn't say he wasn't derogatory towards them. He was just pointing out something that he observed about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it's like, is it just the fact that you did that, that's what's offensive? And that's what it seems like that's where we're going now with... It's just, if you're white, you can't acknowledge their existence at all. And it's like, well, I thought that was the problem to begin with.
Right. That's what made it weird to start, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like,
And then my point is I'm saying, okay, are you saying then that because I'm white that I'm already superior to them? You're saying that's what you want to...
Like it's automatically punching down just by mentioning that they're not.
Yeah, but isn't it you saying that I'm white, therefore I'm superior to them? Aren't you the one with the problem?
It is weird. Yeah, sometimes you gotta ask people, it's like, what are you working out about yourself right now? Like, you're mad at me, but are you? Like,
what is it that makes somebody that I'm punching down to? Why are they less than me? Why don't you defend that position?
Right, because it's the assumption that you're punching down just by observing, and it's like, well, then that's the person who heard it applying their own bias to a situation.
Yeah, because you're assuming that person is less than me. Yeah, I'm not the one who's making that judgment. You are. You're the one who's projecting. You're the one who's got this weird caste system going on in your mind. That somehow, because I'm white, I'm superior to everybody. I don't think I'm superior to anybody.
It's not that they have a caste system, they think you do, and they think they're morally superior to you, so they're like, oh, this dumb piece of shit probably thinks like that. So it's like this even more than that.
So
you know what I mean?
So they're projecting their idea of what's racist onto somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just detaching themselves from the situation. It's not their racism, it's your racism that you don't understand. And it's like, no, it's just everyone's just trying to learn who everyone is as people.
Yeah, how about we're just all equal, and we make fun of each other, and we have a good time.
Yeah, everyone's pretty terrible evenly. So
I love that concept. Like it's not even a bit that I do or anything, but it's something I've said twice, but it's about tolls in Connecticut. And I mention a city, I pick a random city, and I'm like, I have an idea, like maybe you guys, because everyone's anti-tolls, I'm like, maybe I can get you on board. What if we just put the tolls around and then I say a city? And I'm like, that way no one can leave that city and no one can go to that city, and I'm going to chalk that up as a problem solved. And then people laugh, and I'm like, Now, remind you, I did not say why or what problem, so whatever it is that you're thinking, you got to get right with Jesus on that, because that has nothing to do with me, that was all you. And that's just a fun way to be like, you know, just, it's kind of like a way to remind people that just because somebody says something that, like, you know, in your mind went somewhere, the person sitting next to you, their mind may have not gone there, and in all likelihood didn't go there. They need to be guided. That's our job, is to guide them to the funny part. So it's like, it's kind of fun to like sit there and like let an audience make up their own mind before you just remind them that like, they didn't actually hear anything.
Let me inform you that I was not being racist. I was making fun of your racism that you've just now become aware of.
Right, right. Everyone has become self-aware, and you can pay me $9.99 for this service, and I have an ebook and an audiobook to go along with it. We'll just get you signed up.
If you would like for me to stamp your virtue card.
Right. It's a multi-level marketing scheme in the making. Like, make
if you get 5 stamps, you get a free woke tweet sent out to you from fucking your choice of celebrity. Retweets one of your shitty tweets. Oh my god. I hate to break to you, that city that charges tolls in and out it's called Orlando.
Yeah.
That's that city.
But see, you could say that about Orlando, and it's like, I am uncomfortable by adults who love Disney a lot. I'm uncomfortable by them. Like, if you keep them in Orlando, they can't leave Orlando. I don't have to go to Orlando. I'm happy. Like, that is a good thing.
I just meant they have mad tolls.
So are the tolls both ways?
Yeah, they have tolls both ways in Orlando and in multiple parts of Orlando. If you go like from just like another part in Orlando, you're going to pay a toll. Mm-hmm. That's what I think the Sunny Pass.
I think that's the brilliance about New York, is they'll charge you to get in, but to leave is free.
Yeah.
No, you can keep moving.
Yeah. You spent all your money there.
We're happy you're going.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to give us money so we can take your money, but when you leave, no charge. It's on us. Yeah.
We've probably taken it already anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Preach. We were long distance for a long time. I paid a lot of tolls all the time, just driving, through New York, through Massachusetts, through all sorts of just toll-ridden states. So when people in Connecticut are like, we're getting tolls, I'm like, you'll be fine. Like, everything's going to be okay if it happens. If it happens. Hopefully it doesn't. I don't want to pay.
The problem is it's all the electric shit now, and they mail you the bill like after like 6 months. It's like, oh, you went to Massachusetts 17 times. You're like, did I? I had no idea. I was.
Oh, and by the way, you're getting this late, so you already owe us an extra $150, or you're going to jail.
Yeah, that is true.
You don't go to jail. I didn't pay those for like 2 years. I don't know what happens, but they go away eventually.
Didn't you have didn't a sheriff come to your house or something?
That was for something else. That was it was a constable, and it was for in Connecticut, you know, you have the car tax.
Yeah.
I didn't pay it for like 2.5 years, so a constable showed up at my parents' house because that was my legal address at the time. Already not a good start to the story. That's where they went, and they were like, this served me a warrant. And I was like, oh, like I just didn't pay it for I knew I didn't pay it. It was like $100, and I just laughed like how little it went up like every time I didn't pay it, and I just kept not paying. I just was like laughing at how I wasn't paying it. I was like, wow, 2 years, what did it go up to? And I was like, $109. Oh shit, they got $9 after a whole year. Like they're not getting that. But yeah, then they served me a warrant, so that sucked. But yeah.
I'm such a square. They sent me mine. This is my first year in Connecticut, my first year having to deal with this. They sent me mine, and literally the due date on it was the day it arrived in the mail. And so I'm instantly upset about this. And then it was way more money than it should have been, but I didn't even complain because I was like, well, it's already due. Because they were like, your car's worth $14,000. I'm like, you should tell that to the people who decided to put a brand new engine in it. That car is effectively worth no dollars. Mm-hmm. But they got $450 some odd dollars out of me for property tax on the car. And I just paid it because I thought it was late and I was nervous. And then he was like, ha, loser. You didn't have to do that. I'm like, well.
You also didn't get served a warrant, so that's true.
Well, I mean, you apparently can get your car appraised, and have them, charge you way less based on the actual value. But
they charge by the town too, though.
Yeah.
Connecticut, they're fucking like, oh, you live in that town? Give me $50.
I mean, we live in Salem. The best thing we have is the Dollar General. That's all we have, and the butcher.
Don't be telling our secrets. All right, let's get into a few more. We got a little bit more Gallagher.
Now I'll pick on our other neighbors too, the Canadians.
Good.
You can tell how strange they are. They put the queen on one side of a coin. Now you think this is real nice. Look on the other side, they got a beaver. What the hell glory is there in first place that second place went to a beaver?
Well, I mean, come on. Noble creature.
Now, they talk about stuff on TV that I don't mention in a nightclub late at night. Talk about douche, I never mention that. You don't have to be a pervert to see the sexual content in television advertising. They got this one commercial, this woman sits up in bed and she says proudly, "I'm cleaning my oven." Her hands are under the covers, you figure it out. And the product is easy off, really.
That still holds up. That's funny.
I like how we said nightclub too. That brings up like the comedy club thing. So it's like not even then.
Joe DiMaggio was married to Marilyn Monroe. Come on, Joe, you have tasted better, boy.
I'm too
I
young.
wish there was a knob on the TV so you could turn up the intelligence. They got one marked brightness, but it don't work, does it? Most commercials are an insult to my stupidity. They'll say things like, "Do you need a pain reliever that works?" Impotence got you down? Constipation a problem? What are you going to say? No, I dig it. Is it hard to meet a girl with acne? No, I meet them all the time. See, commercials
That
are
was
supposed
funny.
to be an example for society. They're supposed to tell you how to act. And they don't always do this. This is when this girl gets a new watch. She shows it to another girl. The other girl says, "Presto, oh, a new watch." The girl goes, "I was hoping for a Longines." What a bitch. New watch ain't good enough for her. Sometimes white people embarrass me.
Preach.
A lot of them are just plain ignorant, too. Here's a dog we fed. Alpo dog food. Here's a dog we didn't feed. Look how much friskier the Alpo dog is than the dead one over here. We've stretched this bra between these two Mack trucks to show you girls that any elastic that can lift and separate these two big babies is going to have no problem with your little pickup. I don't know about you. Every time I see a laxative commercial, they keep talking about gentle. When I need a laxative, I want a bomb. I mean, rough me up, you know?
I just can't imagine a situation where Gallagher's saying that all the time. Like, I really need stronger laxatives in my life. Or like some stool softeners. I think he needs more fiber in his diet. It's just the time.
Now, sex pervades art.
You'll get older. You'll understand.
Sports is where it is now. Everybody that's good in sports, we somehow assume they're good in bed. And I don't believe that. I think being good at sports limits you. You practice whatever it is you do so much, you can't do nothing else. I know Jimmy Connors, when he's done, jumps over the bed and shakes your hand. Hey, that was pretty good, you know?
He's a tennis player.
Or a swimmer, when he gets to the headboard, does a flip turn, comes back for another lap, you know?
They didn't have Michael Phelps yet.
And I wonder, does the rodeo cowboy think 9 seconds is a long ride? Gymnasts, though. I bet gymnasts are real good. First-hand knowledge here. Are you better than Nadia? Nadia's a perfectionist. Imagine that guy is a 10. Wow, Nadia, that was perfect. You know. You even pointed your toes, you little devil. That full twisting dismount wasn't bad either, babe.
Yes.
Well, it's about time for me to cut out. As you can see, performing for me is a sexual experience. I'm done before you are. Before I go, I'd like to impart some last few words of wisdom to you. I want you to always remember, never let your mother brush your hair when she's mad at your dad. Children who have a well-balanced breakfast before school are the only ones who throw up in gym class. That guy who said a bird in the hand bird two in the bush ain't been putting his bird in the right bushes. I want you men to remember that sex is a Chinese dinner for two. It ain't over till you both get your cookies. I want you lovers to be fair. Let the other one sleep in the wet spot half the time. This has been more than a thrill for me. This has been an inconvenience. See you later. Good night.
I feel like I have to almost. Yeah.
I think other than some of the references are you know, a little old, but
I think it holds up pretty
yeah,
well.
I think it still holds up.
Seriously. And our video already got flagged for for using copyright material, I think. So we got.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll look into it. We're gonna fucking fight it and just be like, no, Gallagher's in on it because we're gonna call him, right, you guys?
Well, I think that we post on the video that we do not own the rights.
Yeah.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, seriously. I mean, look. Let's look at the album. I think it was pretty solid, minus like a few japs. That he said he dropped some like fucking definitely some outdated like slurs and shit. I mean, I don't know, whatever. He was just that was a weird album. It was the funniest Gallagher thing I've ever heard, hands down. I've never laughed at that hard at any of his shit. Like even like walking back on the specials today, we were like, oh, look at this goofy fucking like he's spitting like orange juice on people and like there wasn't like a lot of joke structure.
I mean, this was before.
Yeah.
All that, you know, the watermelons and everything.
Mm-hmm. And this was good. I like this. There was a lot of, I mean, I always say this about comics who do a lot of one-liners or even like, you know, just a lot of his jokes were just quick, short, even if they weren't like a true one-liner. That's just a lot to remember. And I thought he just like went right through it. Like you could tell he definitely had a plan. He hit everything. The segues were good. And when they were like non-sequiturs, they were even like funnier. You know, it was interesting. Like, I don't know, it just seemed like it flowed well, and he just packed a lot. Like you were saying, he hit everything. Like, he just packed a lot into, what was that, an hour total?
Not even. It was.
I didn't think so.
21:55 and like similar on the other side.
So it's 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was a TV hour.
Yeah.
For commercial breaks and everything.
Yeah, and he got through a lot of material, so
Yeah.
I just find that really impressive because, you know, gosh, doing 40 minutes, like, there's, you know, we do it a lot, we all do, but there's always like a story or something that kills some time, it seems, you know, or like something I don't know, you do a lot of shorter jokes though too, Rodney. You're really good at that. Like
I try to do a combination.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. Because you want to, you have those times where you want to just pound the audience, and then other times you just kind of
pull them off a little bit and take them for a walk.
Yeah, there's definitely jokes you need to do after other jokes. Be like, all right, they're gonna need to recover from this joke, so I'll just let this joke kind of eat it. Like, too, you know? Is that what you guys are saying?
Yeah.
Or am I
mean, I have jokes that aren't as strong, but I use them to set up other stuff later. Mm-hmm. So I know it's not going to be as strong, but I know that it's setting up something that is close.
Right.
Right, I'm saying when you just keep hitting them, like even if you're doing your A shit, eventually they're gonna hit this like they need a second. Like I always have, my jokes are terrible, so I have tons of jokes where I'm like I can do this one and fill in some.
I mean, when you have those moments, and they happen to me all the time, where you've got them laughing so hard, where you literally have to just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one time I had them going so hard that I just stood there, and the longer I stood there and looked at them, they even laughed harder.
Yeah.
So then I went and sat on the stool, and then it was just even more.
Right.
It was like 7 minutes. I said absolutely nothing, and the audience just never stopped laughing.
That's so awesome.
You just
It was
have them.
awesome.
That's
and when
really
you get
cool.
those moments, it's just magic.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. But again, I have them all the time.
I have yet to 10 years in the game. All right, I'm gonna try it. I don't give a fuck. Let's go for it.
Are you trying to call?
I'm gonna call Gallagher.
Oh, this is awesome.
There's no way. But he's gonna have a missed call from me. So it's gonna be even worse if Gallagher calls me back later.
3 more rings.
Yeah. I don't think Facebook hangs up.
Can't leave a message.
No,
You can if you
I could.
message them.
Alright, no, alright. Well, we didn't get him. I don't know. This was fucking super duper fun. I'm really glad we did this. You guys were the real survivors of this show.
Yeah, straight
Thank
up.
you
Thank you
guys.
for coming.
But let's just go down
And
the
Dave
line.
Kanell
Dave
for
Kanell
coming. This
showing
is
up and then
awesome.
getting on the show
Yeah.
and having fucking great wisdom. Let's just go down the line again. Do you got plugs or anything, Rodney? Do you got any plugs? Anything you want people to come out to?
Yeah, just check on Facebook. I've got shows coming up a bunch.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I get booked all the time because I'm very talented. People like me.
Try and find an open date and then book Rodney Norman too.
Yes.
Book him. And what? When you taking dates in like 2022 probably?
There are a couple things might be opening up then if you get in now.
No, seriously, you're fucking amazing, and thank you for bringing real equipment
Yeah,
to this fucking
was so
pod.
cool.
Oh, it was fun.
Hell yeah. Dave, you got anything coming up?
Yeah. I got a sad living room open mic for everybody who's here.
Hell yeah.
A house we just moved into.
Oh,
that's
you're gonna do
awesome.
one? That's
Oh,
fucking
cool.
awesome. That'd be so cool. Congratulations
Yeah,
on buying a
congrats.
house. That's like,
Appreciate it.
I can't even imagine being financially secure enough to ever do such a thing.
Scary.
We're gonna get you a credit score first.
Yeah!
That's what we're gonna
Credit
do.
score. Ham, do we have anything coming up?
Yeah, well, the 8th, Tuesday, we're actually at the Niantic Public House with Rodney Norman and Howie
Yeah,
Mason
you do get
for a
Nice.
Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation fundraiser. So that's going to be really cool. Other than that, it's just our stand-up shows that are not for worthy causes except for paying our bills.
Yeah,
so.
just go to meatslappodcast.com to check out all me and Ham's dates. That's where all that's at. And thank you. Go to publicaccessandchill.com. This has been I Can't Comedy. We'll do this again. We should definitely do this again.
We're going to buy
sometime.
some more comedy
We
records
gotta
from
buy more
Willimantic
comedy albums
Records.
at Willimantic
where we're
Records.
at
Thank
right
you again
now.
for having us here.
Thank you so much.
Gallagher, we're gonna put him under Timeless for today.
Yep, this
Timeless.
album is going to go under the Timeless column,
Yeah.
I think he
Fuck yeah.
deserved his spot.
Alright, well, I don't know, like it, subscribe to whatever the fuck this is. Goodbye.